Data science, growing field, and it's growing by leaps and bounds in the media and the advertising realm. Everybody wants to be as efficient and effective as possible, which is one of the main roles of a media planner. You know, you want to reach the right people at the right time in the right vehicle at the right costs, and you want to be as efficient and effective as possible. So data science, from an agency perspective, came about a few years ago. Again, social media platforms excel at being very granular in their targeting. Consumers underestimate the number of data points that they provide the platforms. And so they can build personas, they can build different targets that they make available to advertisers. And as a brand, you can also collect data, which is what we call first-party data. And then you've got third-party data, which is what platforms can provide, or you've got external brokers now that have popped up that sell those types of profiles, and you can replicate them in what we call lookalike modeling. So we've developed a team of data scientists in-house. They're mathematicians, they're people with scientific backgrounds, computer backgrounds, that specialize in linking systems together, because you don't want to be going through millions and millions of lines of Excel spreadsheet data. So you want to connect with interfaces, APIs. You want to be able to manipulate, combine data points together, so that you can make custom targets for clients. You want to be able to interpret it and present it in a palatable way. So we're building custom dashboards for clients. We're building dashboards internally just so that the media teams can follow and optimize their campaigns effectively. So it's really an interesting and relatively new sector of advertising, where we're actually going after people and trying to recruit them from areas that you wouldn't have thought of 5 years ago. So geography, age, gender. When you go into the social media platforms like Facebook, they've got a variety of things that you can select, to the point that now they're walking it back because the data has been misused. Facebook has said that they will be changing their policy with regards to targeting when you're talking about housing or when you're talking about job applications. So targeting by gender, targeting by racial ethnicity, talking about age when you're recruiting is not necessarily well viewed, and in some areas it's illegal to do that kind of profiling. So they will be walking that back. And on the flip side, clients have been so used to this granularity from platforms that they come at us and they say, well, I want to reach someone who has dual citizenship. I want to reach someone with 2 passports. Or I want to reach, and these are actual cases, I want to reach women who are thinking of becoming pregnant. Unfortunately, as granular as those platforms are right now, some things are just impossible. They're impossible to get. There's no list that precise that you can check off and say, okay, I'm going to target people with dual citizenship. So you have to go about it in different ways, creative ways. Um, Application use, so all the apps that you have on your mobile phone, there are companies that look at usage and that they sell that data. So agencies, clients can use that information as potential proxies for very, very precise targeting. And I'm convinced that in the next few months, couple of years, we'll have to have as an industry some frank discussions about privacy policies. Everybody was up in arms when GDPR in Europe came into effect in May of 2018, I believe, which really set the tone on what you could collect and how you could use the data. Canada has some very strict rules that are close to GDPR. You've got the CCPA in California, which goes beyond GDPR. So I have a feeling we'll see more of that, where privacy policies will dictate what we can collect and what we can use in terms of data. So that will change what a data scientist person does with the information, because you don't want to be responsible for a data breach. You don't want to be involved in a data breach. As an agency, you have to protect the clients. You have to protect the data, and so I think it can only be positive in that we're making sure that consumers know what is being done with their data and why. But it's going to be another game changer for the industry.
You're watching a 15-second Burger King ad, which is unfortunately not enough time to explain all the fresh ingredients in the Whopper sandwich. But I got an idea. Okay, Google, what is the Whopper burger?
Just now, as we were talking, my iPhone activated, so Siri liked what I was saying. Whether it's used in advertising or not, it's not quite legal. There have been some cases, some award-winning cases. Burger King comes to mind, where they used Alexa, and they used it in a very ingenious way. They linked it to Wikipedia, and they wanted Alexa to be able to read off what was in the burger, what was in one of the burgers. And being a Wikipedia page, it's easily modifiable. And so people started having fun with that and making Alexa say all sorts of weird things. And Amazon didn't like it. They said, we don't want you to use that. Google said something similar. They doubled down, and they did another ad where you would listen to your TV set and it would activate your vocal device. And the industry thought it was a creative way of using that new technology, and it won a Cannes. It won a Cannes Lion. But it's not something that's being used very much yet in terms of advertising. Not in Canada, at least. They tend to reserve it more for international clients. But there are some intriguing possibilities that can happen with those vocal devices.